The Leidenfrost effect. Has been one of the most requested videos I think I've ever gotten ever. What are the different stages? Is it too low? Is it just right? Is it too high? What does everything look like? If you saw one of the videos I posted before this one, I think 2 or 3 back, you'll kind of see I ran through it, but I just wanted to focus on from a cold pan, right? My hand is on here. It's a completely cold pan. What does the Leidenfrost effect look like at different stages? So I'm on the biggest burner that I have, stainless steel pan. This happens to be an AllClad. This has been through hell and back, but basically there's my AllClad pan. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and turn the pan on, and I'm gonna set it to low, right? Which is what I think is low. Okay, so the time now is 4:24. We're gonna keep track of time and temperature, at least as far as I can tell. But anyways, biggest burner I have, we're on the low setting, right? Just as a quick, reminder, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button down there. Make sure to check out the description section for some links to this All-Clad 10-inch pan. I mean, not this exact one, but one that's like it. Anyways, you get the idea. And also some other cool links down there below. Make sure to check that out. Also, if you have any comments, put them in the comment section. You never know when your comment, much like the many that have been formulating this video, your comment may turn into a future video. So keep that in mind. But anyways, we've been going now, I'd say about like 30 seconds or so. I just want to get this up for like a minute and just show everybody, as we go through what the different stages are. Obviously on this low setting, we're not going to get that much of a Leidenfrost effect. What I'm looking for in a just from recognition that I've done this before, but what I'm looking for is when I drop the water in, that it's just going to sizzle out, right? If it forms a ball, like a mercury ball, this is water, by the way, just regular old tap water. If it forms a mercury ball, that's the perfect Leidenfrost effect. That means that basically your stainless steel pan is ready to receive whatever fats or oils that you're going to use in there. And by the way, if you are watching this with fats and oils in mind, what I like to use primarily now is avocado oil. It's a very high temp oil. And keep in mind, I'm not bringing this up to its smoke point. It's a healthier oil, I'd say, versus like some of the canolas that are out there. Even vegetable oil kind of has a hit or miss to it, depending on what type of vegetable it is, that kind of vibe. But anyways, if you're going to use butter, that's totally fine. What you want is your butter to melt and maybe slightly turn brown or get darker brown, but you don't want it to burn. Burnt butter will turn black, and that's a bad thing. If you saw the video I did before this one where I made scrambled eggs, I was trying to make an omelet, but it turned out to be scrambled eggs. You kind of saw that process and how the butter turned like a very deep brown, which is browned butter. That's totally fine, but you just don't want it to turn black. Black is bad. That means that your pan was too hot. So anyways, we're at about 2 minutes now, somewhere in that ballpark, right? Somewhere in that ballpark. So what I want to do is I want to just show you all at low temperature what the Leidenfrost effect failure point is. So let's go ahead and drop this water in here. I'm looking for a sizzle. And basically see how it fizzles out. It just sizzles. So that's how you know that you don't have enough heat in the pan, right? So your water goes in, it kind of smokes away. It might even stay there for a second or two. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a towel and I'm just going to wipe out the water. Because we're going to go to the next level, baby. Okay, so here we go. Next level is we're going to go to where I think the Leidenfrost effects happens the best, at least on my stove. So 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. On this particular oven, in this particular range, with this particular pan, at this particular air temperature, January 2024, I think my ambient air temperature in this kitchen is about 71, 72 degrees. This is where I noticed I get the best Leidenfrost effect after about like a minute of being at this temperature, or sometimes 2 minutes of being at this, temperature setting on my stove. But this happens to be the best Leidenfrost effect to me. So just to keep tabs, if the temperature is too low, what happens is your water basically splatters. Like if you splatter something on your kitchen countertop, it just kind of forms like an amoeba and just splatters out and then sizzles and fizzles away. That's how you know that it's too low. So when it is just right, right, just correct, we're now at about another minute or so past when we raise the temperature up to that medium-ish. So remember, if you're at 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, and medium being a dead 5, right? 10 being highest, 10 being highest, 0 being lowest, medium being at a dead 5. I would say right now I'm at like a 3.5, almost to a 4. So somewhere in that range, maybe a 4 is what, would really do it. But let's go ahead and do another drop of water in here. Let's see what happens. So as I go ahead and drop my water in. So now you got balls. See that little ball that kind of jizzled around? And they fizzled out, right? So I'm just below where I need to be. Just below where I need to be. I need to go higher by just another, like a 0.5. So instead of being at 3.5, I'm actually going to go to the 4, which I marked here on my thing already ahead of time, my temperature knob ahead of time. So let's let this go for about 30 seconds or so. Let it come up. Also time, remember, the longer it sits on here, the hotter and hotter it's going to get. And obviously you at home would not let the pan sit this long without anything in it. You always want to try to cook within like 2 minutes, 3 minutes of being on. But as you can see right now, we are cooking away. There's our time. So now let's drop in the water and let's see what happens. What I'm looking for is the balls. I'm looking for the mercury balls to kind of float around. So water's going in and it should look like a dancing ball around the pan. So let's see what that looks like. And there you go. There's our Leidenfrost. See how the ball was dancing around and it quickly evaporated? Let me put in a little bit more so you can kind of see what's going on. So see how the ball lasted longer? See that ball that's kind of roaming around there? That's what I'm looking for. That is the correct Leidenfrost effect. So if I were to make an omelet right now or eggs or whatever, I would put my oil in, let my oil sit for about 30 seconds, and then go ahead and put my room temperature eggs in the pan. It's important to bring whatever you're cooking up to room temperature before you cook it. Okay, so let's go a little bit higher. Let's see what happens if we go to medium. This is a dead, so this would be like 5. Right? 10 being the highest, 0 being the lowest. This would be like right at a 5. We're going to let this go for about 30 seconds. This is going to be too hot for the Leidenfrost effect. This is when you start getting stickage. So you get stickage when you're too high and when you're too low. Technically speaking, though, once your food's been in there and you shut off the heat, which is what I do when I make my eggs, that's okay because you've already achieved your Leidenfrost effect and then you're backing down away from it. That's totally fine. But when you're too hot, you're definitely going to get stickage. So I'd say about another like 30 seconds or so has passed, right? And I'm looking at the time on the clock, maybe even a minute's passed. Let's go ahead and drop the water in. What I'm looking for now is because it's too hot, what's going to happen is yes, I'm going to get the balls dancing around, but what's going to happen is they're going to quickly explode like firecrackers because that little ball is being heated to beyond the boiling point and it wants to burst. It wants to explode and burst. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Here goes my water, and there you go. Firecrackers. See that? We're kind of like in the upper end of the Leidenfrost effect. Not quite firecrackers yet. If I go above medium, then I'm going to get firecrackers. But just to show that to you one more time, without me talking so you can hear it and see it, here we go. So this, I would say, is the upper limit of the Leidenfrost effect, because we still have mercury balls going, which is still, I would say you're still within like acceptable range. But if you notice that exploding, that firecrackery kind of like exploding, let me turn my pan too, because my countertop is not even. There's also like a ½ inch here, and I think this end of the pan is getting cooler than that side. That's another thing that's going on. So let me go ahead and drop in one more drop of water. I'll drop it in up top, and you'll see. You'll probably get balls on the top. See? Which that's a good Leidenfrost. Definitely a good Leidenfrost. Let me show you another one. Drop in some more. That's good Leidenfrost effect right there. But down here, though, it's burning. See, down here, you're getting the firecracker explosion. So it's not just the sizzle, but it's the popping. Like listen to the two. It's funny, my pan has 2 temperature zones, which yours might as well have the same problem. Up top is perfect Leidenfrost, like right in that middle area of the range. And then down here, you're getting, it's too high of a Leidenfrost. So let's go ahead and try this one more time. I'm gonna drop it up here. So if you notice, up here is a good Leidenfrost. See how the balls are kind of dancing around? That's what you want. That's a perfect Leidenfrost. And right now I'm at a dead center 5. Do that one more time. Try to keep them up here. So see, if I keep them up here, you're fine. But see, when the ball dances around to this edge, which is hotter, that's when it explodes. So it's a very fine line of what is the correct Leidenfrost and what isn't. And then if I brought it down here, let me drop some water down there. There goes my phone and we're done. Okay, anyways, you get the idea.